Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Donald H. Kagan, PhD, is a legend in numismatics and precious metals for 55 years plus. Dr. Kagan proposed and successfully engineered the passage of a congressional bill allowing the minting of the San Francisco Mint commemorative gold and silver coins. He also founded Kagan's Incorporated, the oldest family-owned numismatic firm in the United States. The company consistently set records in purchasing and selling the rarest and finest numismatic material, including the Saddle Ridge Hoard, the 1907 St. Gaudens Double Eagle Ultra High Relief, and the 1804 Silver Dollar. That's just a very brief synopsis of what Dr. Kagan has done. Dr. Kagan, welcome.
Thank you.
Honored to have you here. And I got to say, when I first saw you was on a fellow channel member's Polybuck. And immediately I recognized you there, and it was a great interview that you did with him. And so I had to reach out to you from that. So thanks to Polybuck. And I'm going to probably post a link to that interview with him at the end of this recording. But I wanted to thank you so much for joining me here today.
I didn't start Kagan's. My father started in 1933. I've been a professional for 55 years, but our company is the oldest family-owned numismatic firm in the country.
An amazing history there for sure. And I wanted to kind of sort of piggyback on top of what you and Polybuck discussed, which was exciting about what your contact and what you were able to achieve with the Spanish Royal Mint. Can you talk a little bit about how that came to be able to introduce into the United States market the lynx and the toro, and I think next year it's going to be a horse, right?
That's right. That's a Spanish stallion or whatever. And the interesting thing about these modern new proof coins and bullion is that this is the first major mint that has actually reached out to the people who sell those coins and buy those coins and ask for our input. So when my wife and I were taking a tour of the mint in Spain, and again, you pointed out, I'm used to handling vintage and rare coins and paper money. I'm not used to handling bullion coins too much, except to satisfy some clients and what we call now modern proofs, where they polish the dies in the plancha and they make these coins, normally bullion coins, but they make them for collectors in proof quality, and they're very high quality 6970 proof. So I haven't been really in that space in numismatically. I have had my hands full, but they asked for my help because Spain was coming out a little over a year ago with a new bullion coin. They had never done that before. And they asked if I could find some distributors. It was the end of November of 21, and the date of the coin was 21. And so the major distributors I reached out to, they were working on their 22 issues. So I took a shot and I said, okay, what would it take to be the exclusive distributor? They told me for the United States. And I said, okay, I'll take a shot. So I started marketing these links that they had and said, we got to come up with a better name. We came up with the Spanish doubloon. And that was brilliant on their part to come up with that name. And it started to take off. I went around to my colleagues. I learned about this. I knew that I didn't know about this area. So I hired some people and some colleagues to help me out. And we learned the ropes and found the Spanish Royal Mint people willing and able to listen to our input from the United States. I've been awarded the exclusive distributorship in about 1/3 of the entire mintage worldwide. What these are, in case your listeners don't know, is when governments issue, like the American Eagles are made, or the maple leaves of Canada and whatever, they have these special modern proofs issues there, and they're a limited quantity. So Spain decided on their bullion coins to make a hybrid, not just the regular 1 ounce 999 gold, which these are, like the American Eagles, but also only make them in these proofs, or in this case called reverse proofs. They are special edition, if you will, coins, and they are of limited quantity. So for the first links, the 2021, they only made 12,000, and as of last week, they sold them all out worldwide, all 12,000. We get some of that. We get 1,000 of them. We're the only distributor in the world that gets 1,000 of them to get certified by the two major grading firms, PCGS and NGC. And these have consistently been the highest graded modern proofs of this series than any other government mint. This, amazingly, the Spanish mint is farther ahead, and actually than our own mint, which does a great job. But their modern proofs for the Spanish mint are come in at a higher quality than any other percentage-wise of these coins, and that's why they're so popular. So I went to my friends at NGC, one of the grading firms, and they came up with a 5-year plan for Spain, and we presented it to them, suggesting a 1/10 ounce as well as a 1 ounce, because a very popular coin that's under $300. So they said, okay, we like the challenge, we like your idea. They came up and they made the mini links, and then we said, hey, listen, when we think of Spain here in the United States, we don't think of the Iberian lynx, we think of a bull. And they said, well, we have some issues with that, socialist government and all. We're worried about blowback on the bullfighting and cruelty to animals. But we prevailed in telling them that a bull means a lot more than just that. And sure enough, they were able to convince the government that, yes, we should go with a bull next, and it's been extremely popular. They're making 15,000 of them. They're already sold over 1/3 of them. Over 1/2 of them worldwide. So, and then for 2023, those are 2022 issues. And then in 2023, the plan is to have a stallion. And when I tell you that they're willing to listen to feedback, I took to my colleagues at all the coin shows and the people who sell these coins, distributors, and that the Spain gave us 4 images that they were considering for the bull. And I went around and they told Spain that this particular image is the one that's most popular. And sure enough, they went ahead and they made those. But they did one better. And they went one better. They are state of the art. Spain came up with something called a quadruple latent image. And what that is like a hologram that's engraved on the coin. It's the first major anti-counterfeiting device on a bullion coin. We think it's going to be adopted worldwide. And it is, there are people that say, well, how do I know this is a gold coin? Well, now you know, because it's embedded in there, a round object, which is like a hologram. You see 4 different images on it. So Spain's really ahead of the curve here. They're setting the norms, and we're delighted to work with them. They're wonderful people to work with.
I demonstrated that quadruple image lenticular flow on my channel, showing that. It was amazing to see, and so much far ahead from the United States Mint, which only has a missing read for their security device. And I'm hoping that other mints will take notice, because it's amazing that they were able to do that. You talk about the gold doubloon, which is a perfect name for it, because the symbols on the reverse of that, if that is noted as the reverse, is the symbols that make up our dollar. So there's a lot of history there. It's pretty amazing.
That's it. That's exactly right. There's a connection with Spain on that, called the Pillars of Hercules, Camalarios, and that is the origin of the dollar sign. Yes.
You mentioned that you had 4 different designs for the bull, and they chose your recommended. Do you have 4 designs or others for the stallion?
We hope to get that I'm going to Berlin next week for the annual Mint World Congress, and Spain will have a table there. And I hope that they will be coming out with some of the images for planned for the stallion, so that when I come back to the States, the next major coin shows, we'll be able to show those around and get them picked out. I think we're slated to have that new stallion come out sometime in June, and we'll have a mini bull, a baby bull. This is a 1/10 ounce, same image as that bull. I don't think it'll have that image on it, but the anti-counterfeiting agent, I'm not sure. But these we hope to come out sometime in March.
These are three of the five different animals that will be depicted in this series. Do you know what the other two will be?
The most popular that we propose so far is an eagle and an Iberian wolf. Those may be the final two right now.
Those are great choices. And after these 5 years, will they continue with a gold bullion program, and will there be a silver version?
Sal, that's a good question. Uh, First of all, the silver issue, which are extremely popular, they plan to have that out by the third quarter of this year. We're very excited. We think there'll be at least 500,000 of those struck. They have an issue in Spain. They have a VAT tax, a value-added tax, that the local people have to pay. We don't here in the United States, but we're trying to work something out so we can all be in the same price range worldwide. But they're committed to getting that done. We're not just doing this, planning the animal program. We have another program we've come up with called the Galleon series, which instead of the Pillars of Hercules may have a galleon, 17th century or 18th century galleon on the reverse, and then a different image on the obverse. We're working on that. We're working on some innovative new products that have never been done before in conjunction with that. So it's taking us longer to do it, but they'd like to do that. There may be some commemorative issues in addition that we'll come out with. So we're not just limited to this particular series. We hope to have other coins and products, especially based on feedback, once again, from your listeners, you and others who might have an interest in getting coins from Spain of limited mintages, but superb quality. So and quite competitively priced, I might say. So we're looking for feedback on what other things that we could do.
So just to clarify, the galleon would be a continuation after the 5 years with the gold, or is that silver?
We would like to do it this year. We would like to have it a whole separate
A
series.
separate series this year with
Yeah.
the silver.
And we're not thinking beyond five. We had a 5-year plan. We're into year two for
right.
the animal series. Now, I had nothing to do with this idea in the first place. It was very serendipitous. I just happened to be there with my wife at the Mint Museum when they asked me if I would help them with this new project. And not having been in that area before, I had to ask again for help. But so it was their idea. It took them 2 years. It's a government, right? It took them 2 years to get the legislation done. I mean, you have a Treasury Department or a finance ministry, and you have a cultural ministry, and you have other ministries. You have all sorts of government red tape involved in getting some sort of legislation that is the first time in hundreds of years that Spain has had a bullion coin. So you can imagine it's taken a long, and that's one of the reasons it was dated 2021, and it was coming out in December. They hoped to have it at the beginning of the year, but as you know, when you're dealing with the government, things take a little bit longer to
Yep.
get passed.
That they do. Well, it's amazing. And I tell you, it's been a very popular coin. or coin series so far in this community. So kudos to you
Thanks.
for helping make it happen and steering the ship and working with the mint to make it work out and navigating the bureaucracies as well, which is a massive undertaking in and of itself. So the Silver Series was going to be a separate thing. They're going to start this year. Do you know if they're thinking about doing a complement series of the animals in silver?
Yeah, it plans to be the bull.
The bull. Okay, okay, very
The
good.
first one this year will be a bull. In March, I think, will be the baby bull gold 1/10 ounce piece. So
Well, shifting a little bit of the conversation here, I want to talk a little bit about these 55 years now. And there's a lot of stories you can tell for sure during your time there. But one of my favorite coins is the 1907 St. Gaudens Double Eagle Ultra High Relief. And according to your bio, you helped to helped in purchasing and selling that coin. And I knew that the Smithsonian has an example there, but there's only a handful of those ever issued. But there's some in private hands, I assume. Then
yeah, I've actually owned three,
you've owned three.
including including the finest known Proof 69 example. Yes.
Wow.
Well, it's considered America's most beautiful coin. Some people think it's the most beautiful coin ever. Teddy Roosevelt, as you know, was the brains behind they were emulating the ancient Greek high relief coins, and he hired not a minter, but a sculptor, the foremost sculptor in the world at the time, Augustus St. Gaudens, and had them make this coin, struck it 9 times to bring up the relief, but they didn't stack well and it cost them more to make. So then they went to a high relief and struck those 3 times, still too expensive, and the bankers didn't like them. So we have to, up till 1933, the regular St. Gaudens $20 gold pieces, just a little less than an ounce of gold, but the size of a $20 gold piece of the time. So these ultra high reliefs, there's a little over a dozen of them in existence and out there, some in private hands. Yeah.
And from what I understand, they used two $10 gold planchets together and struck that to get the 27 millimeter diameter to get them to work, to get that to work. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe that's correct. You talk about a $10 planchet. One of the most popular and considered the most valuable coin in the world by some people is a actual $10 planchet, excuse me, a $20 planchet that has the $10 Indian head on it.
Right.
It's called it's a pattern coin, and there's only one, and it's in the Smithsonian Institution, so it'll never be available. That's a pretty cool coin. You might want to Google it and take a look at
Yes,
that.
I've seen that because you also are expert in pattern pieces too, right?
Well, I wouldn't consider myself an expert as some of my colleagues who specialize in patterns. I do know a little bit about them.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Yeah, I've seen images of that coin, and it's a beauty for sure. Yeah, well, that's amazing that you've owned three of the ultra high relief because yes, that is considered the most beautiful coin in the world, and I've read the story about it. It's amazing, and I would love to see the U.S. Mint go in that direction. They have the American Liberty series, which are high relief, not ultra high relief, but high reliefs that they release every 2 years. And this year they are coming out with one that has a very unique representation of liberty. It's going to be a bristlecone pine tree that represents enduring liberty because the tree is 5,000 years old. They live up to be 5,000 years old. And then an eagle on the reverse, and the eagle looks beautiful. And the bristlecone pine it's interesting. It's going to be an interesting look when they actually render it and strike it. Nonetheless, those classic coins and the classic designs are pretty amazing. In all of your experience, what do you think is the most beautiful coin in your mind, aside from maybe the ultra high relief St. Gaudens, if that's your favorite?
Well, the Greeks had a decagram, large size silver coin that
That's
they
the
made.
Athenian owl?
Well, it's not an owl, but there's an Athenian decagram and a Syracusan decagram. That's a not quite a dollar size coin, but has a beautiful high relief, and that's considered one of the most beautiful coins. There are some out there that are lovely and beautiful, and of course that's why many coin collectors are out there because of the beauty, the art of the coin, as well as the challenge of putting together a collection. And of course, some people like it for the investment potential, especially the bullion coin. So we have here in this new Spanish doubloon series, we have both. We have a beautiful artistic coin that's related to the price of bullion, gold and or silver coming up, as well as a limited quantity coin that collectors can try to put together. For instance, the Lynx is all sold out. You can only get the Lynx from you can't get them from distributors anymore. You have to get them from dealers and retailers. People are out of them. So now they're a collector item, because if it wasn't before, it certainly is now, because you can't, like an American Eagle, you can get those anywhere, or a Krugerrand or Maple Leafs or whatever. You can't get a Spanish Lynx anymore unless you go to a coin shop or to a retailer.
Right. Secondary market is all
Yeah,
that has it
secondary
now.
market. And that will happen. I predict that will happen on the bull within a few months.
Yep, I agree. I think it will too. I love the look of the bowl. The United States Mint, they had trouble keeping up with Eagles sales last year, and they're minting more now. But there's a little bit of controversy there. But one of the things about the United States Mint is the security features. The former U.S. Mint director had a background in anti-counterfeiting technology, and I think they punted with this security feature with just the missing read on these pieces, and it rotates every year. It's in a different place every year. But to me, it's not really much of a security feature. There were supposed to be three levels of security features on them: an overt, and one that was semi-covert, and then a security feature that only the Secret Service and some agencies knew about. Have you heard any ramblings about that? They're very hush hush about it ever since the interviews that I heard with David Ryder, the former Mint director, about it. There very well could be a secret security feature we don't know about. But with some of your contacts, I don't know. Have you heard anything, or that you're at liberty to speak of anyway?
I wouldn't be privy to that information. I know David very well, and he's a pretty sharp guy, and I hope he's no longer, of course, with the Mint, as you pointed out, but he's very much involved in numismatics and in other areas. And I have met with him. I don't know if he's privy to what the U.S. Mint is currently thinking, but I would think all major mints are looking at the Spanish coin and saying, "Hey, we need to adopt something like this."
And that's what I was kind of hoping too, because I looked at with a 16-time glass, looking at that missing read, seeing if there's any micro engraving, printing, or something in there, and thinking, whoa, if there's something like that there, then yeah, this was very well done. But I didn't see anything, and but yes, I do hope, because the Royal Mint has also implemented very impressive security features starting in 2021 with a lenticular shifting image, and micro printing. Those are overt security features that you can see.
Yes, Sal, I did not know until last year that the Royal Mint is also in charge of the currency, paper money, and stamps that are printed by Spain. And they print and make coins for other countries too. That's
Right.
how well respected they are. So they have security features both in the currency area as well as coins. Although I must say, the U.S. government and the Bureau of Engraving and Printing has done a terrific job in staying ahead of counterfeiters, I believe.
And the Royal Canadian Mint, as you know, has implemented security features that are overt and covert. They have a special device that can tell you It's called bullion DNA. That if you scan the coin in this thing, it tells you that it's legitimate or not, or what dyes it came from. It's pretty amazing where it's going. I hope the U.S. Mint, because the U.S. The Eagles are the most counterfeit, and a lot of those counterfeits come from China. So I'm really hoping that they will catch up and take notice of what some of these other mints are doing, because they're so far behind. And I had high hopes that Mr. Ryder would have been able to implement more of his experience there in the anti-counterfeiting technology. Do you know anything as far as any other issues maybe that the United States Mint? Obviously, they're limited by Congress. They can only do so much. There's not going to be any, at least as of now, the bills that are in Congress now for some commemorative coins are stuck in committee. You were instrumental in getting the San Francisco commemorative coins issued in 2006, which is amazing. And sometimes these bills get stuck. And for the first time since 1985, at least so far, there's going to be no commemorative coins issued. So do you have any influence, or do you talk to Congress people about some of these things, or?
Not recently. No, it took what would it take me 2.5 years with the help of our Congress people here in California and my colleagues in the coin industry coming up with money to pay a lobbyist to get two-thirds of Congress to sign off on the bill that was to raise money to help renovate the old San Francisco Mint in commemoration of the 1906 earthquake. So, yeah, I can't imagine doing that today. But it's difficult to do. But they did limit it several years ago. They did limit it to two legal tender commemorative coins a year because it was getting out of hand.
Yeah, and actually, it's just programs.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, one of the bills in committee would be releasing literally hundreds of different coins as part of one program. It was insane. That bill, I hope, never gets passed, because
No, I don't think so. We limited it to one silver, a dollar coin, and
one
and a $5 gold piece, and I think that was pretty much the format for most of those.
Those coins have the classic reverses. In fact, I did a video showcasing the reverse of the silver dollar, which has the S minted Morgan reverse, and then the new 2021 Morgan dollars that were released from the S mint as well. It's amazing.
Yeah,
the
that's a
difference.
good one. That's a good piece.
Well, great. Anything else with regards to the United States Mint that you can think of that maybe the viewers might be interested in knowing about, that maybe some inside information or anything that you want to share with us?
Well, I can just tell you that we're working with the Philadelphia Mint as we speak about some working together to create something exciting, perhaps for our 250th anniversary of our birth of our nation. And other programs. We're always looking to push the envelope here at Kagan's.
Well, Dr. Kagan, thank you so much for taking the time here with me today. This has been an absolute honor and pleasure. Anything else you want to share with us before we go?
Well, Sal, thank you for having me on. You can go to our website at Kagan's, and see the different products. They're out there to look at. Some of them come with boxes, custom boxes, but our plan is to sell all of the coins that we get through our distributors nationwide. So you can go to some of those people, check them out. You see them you can Google bullion coins and find some of these people who handle our coins and the coins of Spain, and we appreciate you supporting it.
Great. Sounds good. Thank you, sir. Multitude of gratitude to everyone else for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.